With the trade deadline just under 2 weeks away from today, a lot of teams are making calls to see who's available and what it would take to bring them on their team and, go for that elusive Stanley Cup run in hopes to winning it. Welcome back to Gillis TV. If you're new to the channel, like anything NHL related, from news, trades, rumors, whatever there is, same with the MLB, we got it covered here on the channel for you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, as we are less than 500 away from our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for all the support. Now, it's no secret the Edmonton Oilers are in need of a goaltender. They're seeking goaltending help, defensive help, forward help. And same with the Boston Bruins. They have a contract that apparently negotiations aren't going the way they want with one of their current players, which made a Boston reporter kind of do a trade proposal. I'm going to tell you why I would or would not as an Oilers fan, and why it would make sense for Boston to do this kind of trade as well. So I'll read you the article, we'll go through it together, and I'll answer probably most of the questions I'll have in the comments. So, one of the biggest questions surrounding the Boston Bruins heading into the trade deadline is what becomes of impending free agent Jake DeBrusk, who has been rumored to go to Edmonton over the last 2-3 years. Extension talks are going nowhere, and biggest question, notes Jim Murphy of Boston Hockey Now, is will DeBrusk wind up being a playoff rental, so to speak, in B-Town or somewhere else? Does he wind up back west as a playoff rental for a contender out there? We've all heard the Oilers rumors. Or does he become a playoff rental for the Bruins? One NHL source asked Boston Hockey Now recently, it sure doesn't seem like he's signing an extension if he signs one before the season's over. With that, Alan Mitchell of The Athletic has proposed the following 4-player trade that would get DeBrusk to his hometown Edmonton Oilers, who are looking for a top 6 boost, with both teams having little cap room and few draft assets and draft capital to move. An old-fashioned 2-for-2 deal could be in the work for both clubs. So, going to the Edmonton Oilers, Jake DeBrusk and Derek Forbort. Going to Boston, Brett Kulak, who is an Edmonton boy, and Warren Foegele. Despite an off-season for DeBrusk, a fresh move and pairing with Leon Draisaitl could reignite him, and the Oilers would get the offensive addition they've been looking for, along with some insurance on defense and Forbort. While rising prospect Philip Broberg, once he recovers from injury, could move up to the big club as well. That's been rumored too, as he could be staying with the Oilers because of how he's progressing in the AHL. For Boston, Foegele could be a cheaper re-signing option with the potential to come close to replacing DeBrusk's offense. Kulak comes in to address the injury problems on the left side of the Boston Bruins blue line. It would certainly be a bold move for both teams and a creative one. So now, let's get into this. As an Oilers fan, I would take this trade. 1, DeBrusk is playing with either Charlie Coyle or Pavel Zacha right now. You put him with a center like Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, or Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, that's going to boost his numbers up instantly right there. Derek Forbort is a downgrade to Brett Kulak in a sense, I would say, but he is a bigger guy. The Oilers are going for bigger defensemen, tougher defensemen to play against. He's not going to put up the points. He's going to be there hard-nosed, and put him beside Vinny Desharnais. Forbort's 6'4", Desharnais 6'6", 6'7", whatever it is. That is a really big, tough defensive third-line pairing for the Edmonton Oilers. Now, in Boston's sense, if Jake DeBrusk isn't going to sign, you don't want to let him walk for free. That's why I bring in a guy like Warren Foegele, who actually has one more goal than Jake DeBrusk this year. Like they said, Jake DeBrusk is having a down year this year. Warren Foegele, we've seen glimpses here in Edmonton of what he can and could become. And it makes sense if they want to sign a guy cheaper than DeBrusk. DeBrusk might take a hometown discount in Edmonton, being close to his family, being out west. Even if it's not with the Edmonton Oilers, it more than likely he wants to head out west where his family is. From Boston to Edmonton, that's quite a fly and whatnot, being away from your family. So that could be another thing in the Edmonton's favor, is DeBrusk's hometown could take that just to be with his parents and family and whatnot. Now, Brett Kulak, like it said, it addresses the need for their left side in Boston with the injuries happening. Brett Kulak could fill in and comes in at a reasonable price. Now, I say reasonable price as in we got some salary cap things to work out here, and I actually pulled up everyone's salary cap. So we'll go here. We'll start with Jake DeBrusk. He's at $4 million this year. So going to Edmonton would be $4 million plus Derek Forber's $3 million. That is $7 million going to the Edmonton Oilers. You might start thinking to yourself, well, Brett Kulak and Warren Foegele are only $275 apiece. That's only $550. Where are we getting this extra cap space from? Well, accumulated cap space. We have no guys on LTIR. That rises so that at the trade deadline, we would have more than $1.5 million in order to do this deal as Oilers fans. Where it comes in, the 3-year extension for Forbert, he's a UFA at the end of the year. Same with Jake DeBrusk. I believe Brett Kulak. Yeah, so Warren Foegele is a UFA this year, and Brett Kulak is not. So he is still signed. So that gives, Boston a little upper hand when it comes to trading for Kulak because they don't have to re-sign him. He's still good to the end of 2026. So he still has a year after this year to actually do what he needs to do with the Boston Bruins if this trade does happen. And like I said, as an Oilers fan, I would take this due to the fact that it strengthens our back third pairing. Kulak is kind of a pushover in a sense when he's not as physical as if Forbert and Desharnais on that third pairing would be actually really good. Now, like I said, Jake DeBrusk probably would sign in his hometown for a cheaper deal than he would in Boston. He is a top 6 player. He's just having a down year and could be that guy that, if the Oilers do decide, hey, we're going for another top 6 forward, Jake DeBrusk on the third line is not a terrible idea. Now, another reason I say the Oilers should do this, you're not giving up your first round pick. You're not giving up a prospect. You're literally addressing one of your needs, which is to add a top 6 player without moving a first or a prospect. So I do like this mock trade in favor of the Oilers. I think Boston, it helps them save salary cap to go out and get that next player, but it also helps the Edmonton Oilers because they're not losing first round or a top prospect. They're not in this proposed deal, they're not asking for Philip Broberg. They're not asking for Laval or Borgo or Boaki. That name's been going around quite a bit the last few days. So there is that. Just let me know in the comments though. My voice is starting to go. I've had a bad voice over the last few days. But let me know in the comments what you think, because I believe, this trade could actually work for both teams in a sense, and it also gives them their assets to go out and still improve their teams either which way with the first round pick, a prospect, whatever the teams want to do. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Gillis TV. I'm on out of here.